Well, good afternoon and thanks for tuning in for THV 11 News at noon. I'm Jurnee Taylor here with THV 11 meteorologist Simone Thomas. And Simone, we've been talking about it in here. I'm hearing it on the streets when I'm out. It is hot out there.
You know, I was in a grocery store last night and the lady said, I just wish we could get some snow.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute now.
That might be a step
Don't
too
go too far. Don't go too far.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people, I do prefer 100 degrees over 30 degrees, but I do ultimately love if we could just meet in the middle and maybe stay there.
A compromise.
A compromise. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get that today and probably not for the next several days. Heat advisory continues today through 8 o'clock. Now, we're gonna see these heat advisories every day between now and Friday, but for today, the south and eastern 2/3 of the state under that heat advisory. Areas shaded in orange could see heat indices around 105 up to 109 at the highest. Even though those areas not under the heat advisory, still going to be hot out there. You'll see kind of more of that in your 7-day outlook, but here is where we currently stand. 91 in the capital city, already feeling like 100 degrees, feeling like 102 in Pine Bluff, feeling like 104 in Arkadelphia. Camden feeling like 105 right now, and it's only getting hotter from here through the afternoon ahead. Likely going to feel as high as 104, 105 in the capital city. That high today looking to be 94. Similar to yesterday, how we saw a few pop-up thunderstorms, that'll be possible today as well. So we'll see some increased cloud cover a little bit there this afternoon. Once that heat advisory expires at 8, still feeling like 95. As we talked about, the evening's not even offering us much relief. Another check-in of the week ahead is coming up in your 7-day outlook, so make sure you stick around.
All right, Simone, thank you. Well, this afternoon, THV 11 is working to learn more about an overnight shooting in Little Rock that ended with an LRPD officer shooting a man on his front porch. Here's what we know now at noon. Police tell us one man is dead after a firefight. LRPD say they were called to a shots fired call in West Little Rock around 5 p.m. And when they arrived, they found a man holding a gun on the porch of a home on Timber Hill Drive. That is just off Chenal Parkway. Police say the man refused orders to drop the gun and shots were fired and the man was hit. Police say he was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Now, the officer who fired the shots has not been named, but LRPD say he's off duty pending an investigation. THV 11 will provide updates as they come in on air and online at thv11.com. Well, meanwhile, in Saline County, neighbors are sharing their reactions to a weekend homicide that killed a family of 3.
Pretty wild, man. Like there's never even been like a noise complaint in this neighborhood. And then all of a sudden, 3 people are just dead.
Derek Helms lives just 2 doors down from where this tragedy happened. Bryant police got the call about a shooting around 7:30 Sunday morning at a home on Lena Drive. When they arrived, they found 3 people dead inside the home. The victims have been identified as Michael and Monica Jennings and their daughter, Kayla Mitchell. Police say children were also inside the home, but were not hurt.
The father came home to just a horrific scene. So he called 911 and all officers got dispatched out to the address on Lena Lane. They got there and what they found was 3 people inside the home. They were all deceased.
Police quickly arrested 34-year-old Jared Mitchell. He appeared before a Saline County judge on Monday, where a judge set his bond at $2 million. No word on when he'll be back in court to face triple murder charges. This afternoon, we're getting a look at a major drug bust. Arkansas State Police say they seized more than 300 pounds of illegal drugs during 2 traffic stops. Just before 2 a.m. last Thursday, troopers report stopping a car on I-30 in Clark County and finding 13 boxes containing over 150 bottles of promethazine. Then the same day, just before noon, they report stopping another car on I-40 near the Oklahoma border, where they found more than 177 pounds of meth in duffel bags and boxes. Well, now to a THV 11 update. Saline County leaders are facing growing pressure to take action after a deadly dog attack that killed a 15-year-old girl. Last night, the county judge held a town hall to hear directly from the community, with many calling for more resources, new ordinances, and stronger enforcement. THV 11's Catherine Rowley was at the meeting inside Benton High School and heard from both officials and survivors.
But this issue is also a public health and public safety issue.
People in Saline County say the issue of dogs has been a public health and public safety issue for years. There are currently not a lot of resources in Saline County for humane societies and animal control resources that have run thin for decades. Now, Stephanie Johnson, who is a justice of the peace for District 12 in the county, feels it's time for more action.
So the county government has failed in its basic job of safety. But it's just various things that could be done if the quorum court as a whole would want to work together to try to solve this problem.
Many people in Monday night's town hall also asking for ordinances to crack down on spay and neuter laws. Leela Chisholm, who has lived in the county her whole life, brought up the idea of a task force to handle animal control.
So that would be one thing I would like to see, is a collaboration of every single municipality in the county to come together to form a task force so that they can address this.
Several people sharing their own experiences with dogs and how aggressive they are, including Michelle Griffith, the victim of the dog attack last Friday. Her son tells me that what started as an exercise at night to avoid the heat turned into a life-altering attack. He too says that there needs to be more resources in the county available, including the use of a tranquilizer.
In any case, that would let you know that, number one, that the dog was safe somewhere for somebody to identify this dog. That way the victim could know. It would save a lot of trouble and problems for multiple families in this event.
Well, that was Captain Rowley reporting. Now, it's worth noting Saline County voters rejected a tax for an animal shelter back in 2008. Judge Brumley says he has asked state lawmakers for help in the past. Many who spoke last night say they fear without action, another attack is only a matter of time. Well, now in a THV 11 update, we have a major development in the viral Arkansas arrest we've been following for years. Render Worcester, seen in that 2022 video being beaten by two deputies, has been acquitted of all charges. He was scheduled to stand trial Monday for first-degree terroristic threatening and second-degree battery, but a judge ruled Worcester is not criminally responsible, citing schizophrenia and other mental illnesses. Special Prosecutor Dennis Dean led the case.
It's not unheard of. I have had cases that actually went to a jury trial where the jury decides that based on the testimony of the testifying doctors, the person did not understand what they were doing. In this case, the state doctor said that he did not understand what was going on. So at that point, I don't have a witness.
Worcester's violent arrest led to prison time for two officers. They're serving federal prison sentences for violating civil rights. Worcester will now be sent to the Arkansas State Hospital for treatment. Lawmakers are reviewing child abuse reports in Arkansas, where nearly 9,000 calls to the hotline came in the first quarter of 2024. State police investigating more than 1,500 cases, while the Department of Human Services handled more than 7,000. Now concerns are rising about serious reports that were screened out and not investigated. Another report shows 87 child deaths in 2022 were accidental, including drownings, car crashes, and firearm incidents. The study also found that co-sleeping was linked to a majority of infant deaths from sudden, unexpected infant death. President Trump is urging Israel to uphold a fragile ceasefire. The Trump administration helped broker between Israel and Iran. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
After announcing a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, President Trump used colorful language to express his frustration the two sides weren't following it.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
The president warning Israel not to drop any more bombs.
As soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel.
Ahead of the ceasefire,
there are some attacks right now. We can hear them.
Israeli defense forces say they struck targets in Tehran, killing hundreds of security forces. Iran then fired back with missile strikes that killed 4 citizens in Beersheba. After speaking with reporters and taking off from the White House, President Trump called Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and then posted on social media, Israel is not going to attack Iran. The ceasefire is in effect.
I wouldn't be prepared to write this truce off just yet.
Retired General Frank McKenzie, the former head of Central Command, said the U.S. is working to learn more about the impact of its weekend airstrikes on Iran's nuclear program.
We'll know in the days and weeks ahead if the Iranians were able to evacuate material before the strike.
Despite the ceasefire, troops in the region are still on alert. This morning, the U.S. aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford, left Virginia on a scheduled deployment to the Mediterranean, becoming the 3rd carrier group in the region. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump told the press traveling with him to NATO meetings in Europe that he is not pushing for regime change in Iran, despite apparently suggesting that in a social media post over the weekend. Ground crews versus extreme heat coming up at 2 minutes, while every flight is now a race against the thermometer.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to get a race against the thermometer here in Central Arkansas. Another look at what you can expect for the rest of the week is coming up after that story.